What's going on, people? It's your boy GMG here, back with another video, and we're going to talk more about the new God of War title. Now, to be honest with you, I don't even know when this game is going to release. We don't even have a time. It's still set in development, so there's definitely more to come about this game. There could be some very huge changes, some significant changes to happen for this title, but we got some new information on this game. And once again, I am a huge fan of God of War. Played all the series except for the PSP games. Actually, I never really played the PSP version of the game, but played the very first one all the way up to Ascension. Normally with video games that continue on with either a yearly or every bi-yearly or tri-yearly, I just call it like that, when a game releases every several years or so, and it's within the franchise, they often have the same type of style, just a new story. You know, we see that with a bunch of games such as Halo. We got Grand Theft Auto, you know. Then we have the yearly releases, just like, you know, we had the Assassin's Creed, the Battlefields, we have the Call of Duties. But one thing here that I have yet to see actually work, and we don't know if this will work, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen, is the fact that this is a God of War game that is taking a whole new direction in either the way the game plays, the way the game looks, and the actual story behind it. So for those who haven't played the God of War game, basically it was going in with a totally different era, and in this one you're playing in the era of the Norse mythology. You do not have the same equipment you've had throughout the whole franchise or the series of playing God of War, such as the Blades of Chaos or the Lightning of Zeus, which was in Ascension, or the Ice of Poseidon. Like, you do not have any of the following items at all. You don't have Medusa's gaze. You don't have any of the following. You start off with this whole new type of fighting combat style, and the lead engineer of the game kind of touched base a little bit on that, so I wanted to talk about it. So lead engineer Jeet Shroff, hopefully I said his name correctly, he had discussed a little bit about the game and the direction that they're going. So basically, Kratos, yes, once again, traded in his chain blades, which is the Blades of Chaos, for a battle axe. And it kind of makes sense for this type of period because Norse mythology, once again, going back to the Vikings and all that stuff, you know, he looks basically suited, or looks appropriate for that era. So I kind of like the transition that they made over from Greek mythology over to this period. Although we will have a little bit of the quick time events, which was the traditional combat style of Kratos and the fighting style or gameplay style back in God of War, they try to change it a bit and make it more personal, where you will be focused more on the way you fight personally and have the moments still, you know, them like epic moments where then you will toggle and go ahead and have those, you know, epic quick time event moments. But they kind of changed it a bit. This time, instead of using the square, triangle, circle, X, as I read here, you'll be using the triggers. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking, nothing, you know, terrible, but we'll see how that transitions over, or how much of a, you know, change that'll make to the game. And as we saw in the gameplay demo at E3, you had Kratos, you know, kind of throwing the axe to the creature, then going bare fist against another creature, which adds, like, I guess, this kind of different transition in combat style, and then he just magically summons the axe back to his hand, which, as reading here, kind of influenced by the whole Thor's hammer, which I think is pretty cool. And once again, Thor is going to be part of the Norse mythology era, so I thought that was dope. They're definitely changing the combat system in here to give a more fun experience. So yes, you will have those epic moments where you can throw the weapons that you have equipped to Kratos and then go fist hands on with other enemies. So I thought that was pretty cool. And as I stated in my last video, I had a feeling like Kratos' son will be an important role in this game. So yes, as stated in this article, Kratos' son will be playable in the game, and he'll be much more than just a passive character. Also, Shroff went on to explain that there will be a sun button, or I guess a button which you can change over to the sun or to call him in, therefore he can be part of the fight with you when he goes up against enemies. And to make things even better, it won't be something that's just as easy or as concrete. Basically, there'll be upgrades. So hopefully, as you build your relationship with your son and he becomes more of an ultimate warrior and more of a trustworthy fighter alongside of Kratos, then you can trust him more to be in battle. I'm not sure, maybe there's going to be a difficulty gap where if he gets too hurt, maybe you might have to restart the missions. I don't know how this is going to work, but I thought it's definitely cool to be able to play as him or his son, or to at least have your son involved in the combat system. So it's definitely going to be that father-son warrior mentality type of game, in which you have a lot of hand-to-hand combat, a lot of just the survival instinct in this game. So I thought that was pretty dope as well. And if you guys remember, on the bottom right of the gameplay demo, when, you know, his son kind of was leading on the trail of trying to find the deer, you notice that they had like this little acknowledge kind of upgrade, or a little bit of like the percentage was going up on the upgrade. And there's going to be plenty of more as stated in the article. You'll have more of that and just other upgrades as well. So I'm hyped to hear, or I'm hoping to see some more additional upgrades become either personal within the relationship of you and your son, and as well some cosmetic upgrades. I'd like to see that, and hopefully you don't just have this one battle axe throughout the whole game, because I mean to be honest with you, to be fair, the Blades of Chaos was really just a majority of just, you know, the whole God of War theme. So if they just keep it with just the Blades of Chaos, I wouldn't mind. But being that they kind of changed a lot basically of what God of War is and the traditional God of War game, hopefully we have a bunch of new equipment and weapons and stuff like that in the game to make it more epic and just more fun. So just a side note, when upgrading Kratos or his son, and just building the relationship between the two, you can expect to have like one of those like duo quick time event moves where if you're going up against like an enemy boss and you have your son there, and instead of just the traditional Kratos where you tap square and he was doing like the quick time events or whatnot, expect it to be like a duo thing, which will be kind of dope, because you can have your son play the role and then you come from behind and just like slice the enemy's neck. Like, it's just gonna be so fucking epic. I really can't wait for that. And one last thing, let me know what you guys think about this whole transition, just changing the way God of War is, the pacing, the theme, just the style of God of War. Do you think it's going in the right direction? Do you think they're taking a risk? Because I think it's a little bit of both. You know, the only reason why I'm okay with this is because this is almost like the 5th or 6th installment if you add the PSP games, and often you get games like Halo, Call of Duty, where it's literally the same game every few years or every year. And in this case, they kind of changed just the whole theme of it and just still try to keep it like God of War. So I wonder how this is gonna pan out. I definitely got hopes for this because it's one of my favorite, you know, games, one of my favorite series. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's your boy 3MG. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and I'm out. Peace.